In a world full of superficial dynamics and societal expectations dictating how men should behave in relationships, the Sigma male stands out as a figure who defies the norm. He doesn't chase, doesn't play games, and doesn't seek validation from others. His focus is on himself and what truly matters. His approach to building relationships is rooted in self-respect, authenticity, and genuine connection, values often overlooked in the race to fit in. But what drives the Sigma to act this way? What makes him so different? In this video from Official Sigma Male, we will explore the 7 reasons why Sigma males never chase women. Each of these reasons not only unveils their unique worldview, but also provides valuable lessons you can apply to your own life. If you're tired of unbalanced dynamics and seek a new way to understand relationships, this content is for you. Stay with us, because what you discover here could transform the way you connect with others. Prioritizing self-respect. The Sigma male has mastered a truth many spend years trying to grasp. His worth doesn't depend on being chosen by someone else, but on choosing himself. This kind of man refuses to settle for being a backup plan in anyone's life. To him, accepting the role of a mere option is a form of self-disrespect. Instead of spending his time chasing someone who doesn't value him, he focuses on cultivating his own world, where he is always the priority. Why invest energy in someone who doesn't reciprocate? This is where the Sigma stands apart. Consider this practical example. Imagine a friend only invites you out when everyone else is busy. How would you feel? It's the same in relationships for the Sigma. He chooses to be with people who value him from the start, not those who see him as a second choice. Instead of seeking validation from others, he works on building his self-esteem. Did you know that Sigma males spend more time developing their skills or pursuing their interests than getting caught up in superficial dynamics? This approach not only makes them more attractive, but also more authentic. Another hallmark of the Sigma is his ability to say no without regret. In a world where most fear being alone, he understands solitude is not a curse, but an opportunity for growth. This self-respect shields him from relationships that would drain him emotionally. Quality over quantity, that's the Sigma's mantra. His life strategy allows him to build solid, healthy connections based on mutual respect. The respect he has for himself naturally reflects in how others treat him. People notice when someone values themselves, creating a magnetic effect. This isn't arrogance, it's an understanding that a man who respects himself will never chase something that doesn't value him equally. Rejecting entitlement. The Sigma male does not tolerate dynamics where the effort flows only in one direction. He understands that respect and value in a relationship must be reciprocal. Society often imposes the idea that men should shoulder the entire burden to win someone's attention or affection. The Sigma, however, refuses to accept this unequal responsibility. Why invest time and energy in a connection that isn't built on an equal foundation? A clear example is the classic dating scenario, where some expect the man to do everything, plan, pay, and pursue, while the other party simply receives. The Sigma breaks this mold because he deeply values equality. He prefers authentic connections where both parties contribute. This doesn't mean he's stingy or insensitive. Rather, he appreciates the value of mutual effort. Want to build something real? Both must be willing to row in the same direction. The Sigma's mindset not only protects him from falling into unbalanced relationships, but also strengthens him internally. By not succumbing to unreasonable societal expectations, he maintains his dignity and establishes clear boundaries. While this may challenge those accustomed to one-sided dynamics, the Sigma isn't here to please, but to build something genuine and lasting. This is where he differs from those who compromise out of fear of rejection. When the Sigma sets these boundaries, he sends a powerful message. He knows his worth and won't allow anyone to overlook it. But this firmness far from repelling, attracts those who truly value a balanced connection. Recognizing that chasing is absurd. For the Sigma male, the idea of chasing someone for their affection is not only exhausting but also illogical. Authentic relationships arise from mutual interest, not one-sided efforts full of desperation. In his world, chasing someone implies that person has more value than he does, which contradicts his core principle. Everything begins with self-respect. Why run after someone who doesn't show the same interest? Picture this. You're at a market trying to buy something, but the seller acts like they're doing you a favor by selling to you. Would you stay there begging for the product? Or would you look for another place where you're valued as a customer? The Sigma applies this logic to his relationships. He doesn't aim to impress or force a connection. If someone is genuinely interested, they will show it without games or excessive effort on his part. The Sigma understands that chasing someone often leads to toxic dynamics. Many people who allow themselves to be pursued do so because they enjoy the control or validation they receive, not because they genuinely value the pursuer. This is emotionally draining and creates unhealthy relationships. That's why the Sigma prefers to invest his time in enriching activities, like improving his skills, reading books to expand his mind, or exploring new passions that help him grow. This philosophy not only shields him from unnecessary frustrations, but also places him in a position of power. When the Sigma stops chasing, he makes it clear that his time and energy are immensely valuable. This creates an interesting effect. Those who initially didn't show interest suddenly start noticing him. Seeking internal validation. The Sigma male has grasped a life-changing principle. His value doesn't depend on others' opinions, but on what he builds within himself. While many seek external approval to feel complete, the Sigma finds his balance in internal validation. This approach allows him to navigate life with a confidence few understand. For him, praise and criticism are like the wind, useful for adjusting his course but never determining his path. One practical example is how the Sigma handles social media. While others obsess over likes and comments, he uses these platforms as tools, not as mirrors. He doesn't seek recognition in photos or posts. Instead, he spends time on projects that bring him personal satisfaction, like learning a new skill or starting a business. This mindset keeps him free from the emotional dependency cycle that traps so many. This type of mentality doesn't develop overnight. The Sigma actively works on building his internal confidence. Meditation, journaling, and physical activities are tools he uses to strengthen his relationship with himself. For instance, a Sigma might spend hours reading about Stoic philosophy, applying concepts like indifference to things beyond his control. These practices help him stay grounded, even in challenging moments. Internal validation also makes him more authentic in his relationships. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone or conform to external expectations. This freedom from the pressure to fit in allows him to be who he truly is. Valuing authenticity. The Sigma male has an unfailing radar for detecting authenticity in others. He isn't drawn to appearances or perfection. What he truly values is sincerity and consistency. This focus allows him to connect with genuine individuals and avoid those hiding behind masks. In a world where superficiality often reigns, the Sigma stands out for his ability to seek out what is real. How does he achieve this? By staying true to himself and being honest in his interactions. An example of this is how the Sigma approaches first impressions. While many strive to impress, he prefers to present his most authentic self, even if that means admitting his flaws. This creates a deeper and more meaningful connection with those who are willing to accept the truth as it is. Conversely, he avoids those who attempt to charm him with artificial or manipulative behavior. Why waste time with someone who doesn't show their true self? The Sigma also understands that authenticity requires vulnerability, both in himself and in others. That's why he surrounds himself with people who are transparent about their intentions and emotions. This clarity fosters healthier, more honest relationships. For instance, instead of engaging in emotional games, the Sigma prefers open conversations that address problems directly. This not only saves time, but also encourages mutual respect. Authenticity is a non-negotiable quality for the Sigma, because he knows it's the foundation of the most meaningful connections. However, this standard also leads him to avoid certain dynamics he perceives as unnecessary games or manipulations. Rejecting emotional games, the Sigma male doesn't waste time on strategies or emotional manipulations. While others may fall into the trap of playing hard to get or seeking attention through unnecessary drama, the Sigma remains focused on sincere and straightforward relationships. To him, emotional games are a sign of immaturity and a waste of time. Why complicate something that should flow naturally? A common example the Sigma avoids is the classic jealousy game, where someone tries to provoke insecurity to gain emotional control. Instead of reacting to these tactics, the Sigma simply steps away, making it clear he won't engage in toxic dynamics. This not only protects his mental peace, but also sends a powerful message. Relationships with him must be built on respect and honesty, not manipulation. The Sigma's ability to reject emotional games stems from his self-confidence and clarity of purpose. He understands that those who resort to these tactics are often trying to fill internal voids or exert control, both of which contradict his values. For this reason, the Sigma chooses to surround himself with people who value open communication and transparency. How does he achieve this? By setting firm boundaries from the start and clearly communicating what he will not tolerate. This rejection of games not only shields him from harmful relationships, but also attracts people with a similar mindset. When someone tries to play games with him and doesn't get the expected reaction, they quickly realize they're dealing with someone different. Rejecting hypergamy. The Sigma male values relationships built on a foundation of equality, respect, and genuine connection. For this reason, he avoids any dynamic where status or material wealth is prioritized over character and values. Hypergamy, the phenomenon where someone seeks to move up socially or economically through a relationship, has no place in the Sigma's world. To him, a partner should value him for who he is, not what he has. Imagine you're building a house. If the foundation isn't solid, the entire structure will eventually collapse. That's how the Sigma views relationships based on hypergamy, superficial and doomed to fail. He seeks a connection where both parties contribute and grow together, not a lopsided dynamic where one depends on the other. That's why the Sigma pays close attention to red flags early on and doesn't hesitate to walk away if he senses someone is only interested in his position or resources. In his daily life, the Sigma avoids impressing others with luxury or displays of power. Instead, he prefers to be valued for his integrity, intelligence, and authenticity. For example, rather than spending time and money on appearances, he invests in projects that genuinely excite him or in experiences that enrich him as a person. This protects him from falling into transactional relationships and attracts those who truly appreciate his essence. Rejecting hypergamy doesn't mean the Sigma disregards success or ambition. He understands these are complementary aspects, not the foundation of a solid relationship. By prioritizing character over status, he sets a standard that benefits not only himself, but also those who share his journey. The 7 reasons we've discussed aren't just principles of the Sigma male. They're truths anyone can apply to build more authentic and balanced relationships. Prioritizing self-respect, rejecting emotional games, and seeking genuine connections liberate you from toxic dynamics and allow you to live with greater clarity and purpose. The Sigma doesn't seek approval or get lost in superficialities. He simply knows what he deserves and acts accordingly. Now it's your turn to take action. Reflect on the relationships in your life and ask yourself if they're built on the values you've just learned. If you find inspiration in this content and want to keep growing, subscribe to Official Sigma Male and turn on notifications. Here, we continue sharing ideas that help transform not only your relationships, but also your perspective on the world. Are you ready to take what you've learned to the next level?